The ARRIVE guidelines were drawn up by a committee who were commissioned by the NC3R's organisation. And the idea was that it would be guidelines on how to publish the results of experiments on animals. We agreed to publish the guidelines in the journal simultaneously with several other journals. We thought this would draw it to the attention of our readers better. We also published an editorial because we wanted to make it specific for pharmacology. So we had an editorial which drew attention to those bits of the ARRIVE guidelines that we thought were most relevant. And we also added in some elements to do with animal experimentation that we thought were particularly important for pharmacology that weren't in the guidelines, with emphasis on aseptic technique and anaesthesia and analgesia. They start off with the different aspects that you would put into a publication. So for a start, you want to make sure that the title of your paper makes clear what you have done. You justify why you have used an animal model and why you've used a particular animal model. In your methods, you must explain how the animals were looked after and exactly how you carried out the experiments, whether there was an attrition rate, whether some animals died, and what precautions you've taken to make sure that you make the best use of the animals that have been involved in the experiments. You also need to have given an ethical statement that explains what process your work has gone through, who has approved it, what the organisations are in your university, in your country, for example. And that's one of the things that makes it difficult for an international journal, because there are big differences in different countries in the standards that are applied. We take the view that we hold them to UK standards, which are relatively high standards in the world as a whole. And if there's an argument that there are two different standards, then we'll take the more rigorous of the two. The guidelines are very helpful because by being clear about exactly what has been done, then it's much more easy to get the public to understand what you're doing. It's better to be clear and transparent than to say less